Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. Welcome to Christian Kevin's, Christian Kev's anti-white hour. I'm the titular Kev. I'm a certified freak, 2 days a week, Mondays and Thursdays, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 9 p.m. Please ring in advance to initially avoid and then ultimately ensure disappointment. And joining me as ever, a woman endowed with a gorilla grip intellect. It's Christy Winters. It's a joke again. It's a joke about your vagina. Well, sort of. It's an allusion to, because the idea of having a gorilla grip pussy is a thing, apparently. Yeah. So when I said gorilla grip, people were thinking, is he going to say pussy? Intellect. Oh, hang on. Desktop audio. No one heard what Christy said, did they?
Oh.
Because I was literally I was talking, so there we go. Anyway, are you on the
You
YouTube
didn't miss
channel?
much. Am I on the YouTube channel?
Talking, so
I can be.
yeah, they couldn't hear Christy. Never mind.
But you fixed the audio in OBS, right?
Yeah, no, now they can hear you.
Hello, everyone. It's
There
nice
we
to be
go.
heard.
Yeah, but she was basically saying, "What the fuck does gorilla grip mean?"
Yes, that was basically. You hadn't missed much, honestly.
Yeah.
You missed me laughing, and then being slightly confused.
Trust me, she was absolutely dying with laughter. It was my jokes were landing big time. Much more so than for the rest of the show when you can hear her not laughing. So
yeah, and all I said was that I must have been off the internet the day that gorilla grip pussy references started to drop, and I've missed them since. So thank you. You've taught me something new today, Kevin. Every day's a school day.
I'm glad, and I'm sure the world is a richer place for.
My world is richer now.
Well, good. Okay. Well, how have you been anyway?
I'm just thinking, isn't gorilla grip a little bit intimidating, though?
I think that's the point. I think it's supposed to be self-affirmation, isn't it?
Right.
My pussy's so strong it could rip your cock off. Which, I mean, to be fair, that might do it for some people. I don't know.
It could be. This show got off to, it went from anti-race or anti-white people right into.
Oh, well, he'll get back to that. That's natural. Yeah.
Rather explicit sexual references. My day has been this is the first explicit sexual references I've had all day. So pretty boring day so far until now.
So you do boring stuff during the day.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
She's Frankenstein in the streets, monster in the sheets. Okay, that's a Doctor reference, and also a little bit suggestive. So.
More suggestivity. Someone's got sex on the brain tonight.
Well, when is it not? I literally joked about calling my show on Twitch the Penis Cast. I'm not going to.
Why would you call?
I'm not going to, but I just thought it would be funny because I'm constantly talking about cock and stuff.
That is true,
yeah.
But you've admitted that this is a topic that fascinates you.
It does, and the fact that I'm about to play you a clip of a homosexual man is not suggestive of anything.
Nothing at all.
No.
Okay, so let's try to get this show back on some kind of rails.
There's no rails here.
We're just barreling down the field.
Exactly. This is a fucking avalanche.
Toward the trees.
This is not. There's no direction going on here. It's
a
cock avalanche, Christy.
You're not going to stop with the cock thing, are you?
No.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Going to be tonight. It's going to be an interesting mix of emotions on tonight's show, everybody.
Well, it's a roller coaster. One second we're talking about racial justice, the next second foreskin.
Yeah, we that is true. Sorry about our show is emotional roller coaster. Warning now. We can go from laughing to terrible, just really depressing things, and back again.
Yes,
that's just the nature of the beast.
Indeed.
So, yes. All right, and how have you been when you're not thinking about cocks?
Well, that doesn't
asleep.
That doesn't leave much. Yeah.
You've just been asleep when you've not been thinking about cock.
Exactly.
Or cocks, mountains of them.
Oh, my parents would be so proud. This is how you decided to waste your education, Kurt. Well done. Well done. Anyway, yeah, no, I've been alright. Yeah.
Yeah, you had
But
a weekend.
then again, I am white, so
Yeah, I mean, things are a lot easier
indeed.
if you
Yeah.
generally. And you were doing a lot on Twitch.
Yes, well, as indeed this is being broadcast on Twitch as well. I'm
Hello, Twitch.
doing the streamer thing, 7 p.m. till whenever the fuck I can be bothered, and yeah, that's so it's been a lot of fun. Hello to the new Twitch people. Hello, and fuck you to everyone who isn't watching me on Twitch.
The rest of the world, you mean? The
Yeah.
entire rest of the world.
Yeah, the 7 billion who aren't. They could. They've chosen not to. I can't but help take that personally.
Well, give them time. They'll catch on with how cool you are.
I am super cool, obviously, and yeah, this is being broadcast via the restream thing, and it's going ridiculously well. Literally,
So
still haven't dropped a frame. 11 minutes in.
And half of your show is just the spinning wheel.
Basically,
sometimes.
yeah. So I don't know what it must be. Just like you were saying about the too much bandwidth being used by having things going back and forth, whereas now it's just one stream.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hypothesis. It's a well-educated one based on some knowledge of words. But beyond that, it could be something completely different. But so far, I'm glad it's going well. Fantastic.
Well, it could be that everything in Britain is fixed now.
Oh, that must be it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's it.
Yeah,
I'm sure that's absolutely.
Boris has stopped being a complete fool, an embarrassment, a national disgrace, and has fixed our crumbling infrastructure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So, what is the latest news of nonsense from the UK? Did you guys have a Confederate flag being flown at one of your protests, or QAnon flag?
Significantly worse.
What was that?
There was, oh god, I didn't know this was going to be the opening topic of discussion, but seems how we are talking about white people being shit in Minecraft.
Yeah.
There was an anti-COVID lockdown mask thing protest. Idiots. Fucking idiots. We all know. Every country's got them. It's just Britain seems to be a little overstocked at the moment. Including Piers Corbyn, who is not a combination of the two men I have violent sex with. No, it isn't that. It's actually just Jeremy Corbyn's son, called Piers.
Okay.
Who is a fucking twat.
Oh.
The apple fell quite far from that tree. Anyway, he was one of the organisers of this thing. They had David Icke, who literally believes in the thing we joke about the lizards in human suits. He actually thinks that's real.
Great. Okay.
He's an interesting chap. Originally a professional footballer back in the 1960s. They then went fucking mental, and he's now like king of the conspiracy people. Basically, Britain's OG Alex Jones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But without the show?
No, he doesn't have a show. Well, neither does Alex Jones, really.
Yeah, not anymore.
Lol.
Mm.
Yeah.
Never not funny.
So there was all of that nonsense, and there was a flag that a lot of people probably don't even recognise. It's from a bygone era now, but it was the British Union of Fascists flag was being flown.
Wow.
In Trafalgar Square. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, white people are they're trying my fucking patience, man.
Yeah. Well. All right. So before we get on to any other bad news, I think there's some other.
It's his brother, not his son. Oh, apologies. He looks a lot younger. I assumed son. Oh, there you go.
Okay. Well, see, you learned something today.
Yeah.
I learned about Gorilla Grips. You learned about Jeremy Corbyn's family tree. Right. So, in a more serious note, just wanted to take a moment and just grieve for Chadwick Boseman, who died tragically young of colon cancer, apparently. And I know that for a lot of people on social media, and especially a lot of people in the Black community, who I personally know someone who was just absolutely emotionally devastated over this, and I can understand, especially like with what Black Panther meant to people, and for people to have a superhero that looked like them, and to have him gone so soon. It's just, I just wanted to take a little moment and acknowledge that, because his loss is tragic and a lot of people are hurting.
Yeah, 43 is no age, is it?
Hardly anything, yeah. Much younger than me.
Awful. And he, like you say, he touched a lot of people. It's good to see, for young people of different racial groups, that they've got heroes too. They're being depicted in that way, which is positive. And I suppose on that note, to explain the clip I'm going to play in a second, but obviously tonight we're going to be talking a little bit about the events of Wisconsin and Oregon, where the fascists have been kicking off, people have been getting murdered. It's a very, very shitty situation. We're not going to go too much into the details of exactly what happened, because you either know it or you don't. You either care or you don't. I assume if you're here, you care, and so you probably know. But I've been looking back on some of the older civil rights leaders and stuff in America, and indeed around the world, actually. Because people talk about people like Malcolm X and Fred Hampton and all the rest of it, but I'd never really gotten to know their takes on the world particularly. Like, you have a rough idea, the kind of potted popular history thing, but I actually went back and listened to a lot of what they had to say, and I've become slightly man-crushy on James Baldwin. I think the man was a genius. He's dead now, very dead. In fact, I looked it up. Our lives overlapped for about 6 months. So he's been gone a long while. Oh,
right. Yeah.
Which is fine. He was born in the fucking 20s, And yeah, he speaks with a forthrightness and at a time when, because the clip we're about to show you was from 1969.
Okay.
And there are some hard R's, people. But again, it's a black dude explaining his situation, so I don't need to apologise on his behalf or anything. Just, prepare yourself. It can be jarring, I know. And considering it's, TV in 1969, just be grateful, I suppose, it's not being used in an entirely disparaging fashion. Because that could be done. That was a thing that was allowed. Okay. Dick Cavett leads off the conversation with the phrase, in regards to the Negro, is the beginning of one of his questions, which was fine at the time. That was just a thing that happened
the time, but now you're like,
yeah. So gird your loins for that. So I watched the debate he did as well with, I suppose, intellectual godfather of American conservatism, William Buckley, at the Oxford Union in 1965, and the man had my fucking spine tingling with the speech he gave about the black experience in America. Genuinely brilliant. Malcolm X ditto, when he spoke at the Cambridge Union a few years earlier, before he was then murdered, of course. So anyway, but yeah, so I've been doing that this week, and you've said yourself you've been getting a bit more intense about it.
Yeah. It's I think I've mentioned before that I grew up in this sort of white bubble, and I grew up with this naivete that I actually bought the American dream, like the whole idea of the principles. And I thought that, given the history I was taught, we were getting closer and closer. But of course, the older I get, I realize that dream is just a childlike mirage, like Santa, what they tell you when you're a kid, and then you realize there's a reality behind it. But increasingly, I'm, and moving away from, how do I describe this? When you showed Destiny on your stream the other night, reacting to property damage.
Yeah.
That's from my perspective, like, that's the white bubble perspective. That's a perspective of, look, I know people are getting killed, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to sit by and not complain while a shop is getting smashed up. And I'll complain about the shop getting smashed up more than about the person in your community getting killed.
Yeah. That's
the problem. That is a symptom of that sort of white thinking. And listening to more Black people, Black activists, Black authors and writers, and other people's perspectives, and there's a wide amount of perspective. But one thing that is common is just how tired Black people are of just wanting to be treated equally and having to, I'll play a clip from someone later on talking about having to turn the other cheek and asking white people, instead of asking me to keep turning the other cheek, how about you stop hitting me?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I kind of wanted to play this, because it's from over 50 fucking years ago, and he might as well be saying this now. It literally, you could transpose it, apart from one point where it goes in about the bombing of Southeast Asia, replace that with the word Syria, and it's absolutely word for word exactly what's going on. It's
okay.
Exactly
do you want to? You gonna play? Do you have it queued up? Do you want to share your screen?
It's on. Well, I'm sure the people on YouTube can see it. If you were supporting the stream by watching me on youtube.com/Kevin Logan, blah 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 blah. Actually, that's probably not even the link. I don't even know my own link.
No, it's Ploppy 101 or something.
111. How dare you? Which is a reference to Blackadder, by the way. There's one episode of the.
Oh, Mr. Ploppy.
Yeah, Ploppy, son of Ploppy. And our Mistress Ploppy, but I can call you. You can call me something else if you like. No, I think I can handle more than one name. Thank you. Anyway, so yeah, this is from 1969. Anyone who talks shit about my Jimmy Baldwin from now on gets a fucking backhand in, of course, Minecraft.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
Always.
So he's asked about black extremists. Because that's the thing that was still being talked about 50 years ago, almost as if the conservative narrative has not changed slightly. Anyway, let's have a listen to what he has to say.
The ones who have totally given up. I assume you haven't totally given up.
Well, I'm still alive. There's still breath in me. And so as long as breath is in me, I will never give up. But if you think that Rap Brown, you're referring to rap really.
Is the volume okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
For me, it is. Yeah.
Okay, good.
It's got a lot of bass to it, but can you put on the closed captions at all?
Oh, okay.
That an option in this icon? Yeah, the gear icon.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh no, you're right. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
It might be auto-generated, so it might not be perfect, but
exactly because
it's a little got some reverb on it.
It's
something.
Stokely Carmichael, not Stoke. Not the town of Stoke and the potteries. No, different thing.
Stokely are something new. You know, I refer you back to an old song. No one even knows who wrote it. And it's supposed to be spiritual. It's supposed to be about, Christian church, but it really is a slave revolt song. The man says, if I had my way, little children, great God, if I had my way, I'd tear this building down. It is not new for me. We've always felt that. It is new for you. And if we were white, if we were Irish, if we were Jewish, if we were Poles, if we had, in fact, in your mind, a frame of reference, our heroes would be your heroes too. Nat Turner would be a hero for you instead of a threat. Malcolm X might still be alive. It is that you can face, in some ways, the discontent of white people when they rise, they are heroes. And everyone is very proud of brave little Israel, a state against which I have nothing. I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm not an anti-Semite. But when the Israelis pick up guns, or the Poles, or the Irish, or any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him. Now, you can do this if you like, until your party is over.
I particularly like that phrase, until your party is over.
Your party's over, yeah.
I think we all know what he means by that. Well, I hope we do.
But I know, after all, who my heroes are. And George Washington is not one of my heroes, for example. Neither is Booker T. Washington. What the American public has always tried to do is to accommodate me into a system which is always meant to my death. They want me to become an accomplice to my own murder. That is what you really mean by integration.
That's impressive. I don't understand it. That last sentence.
Stokely Carmichael says, and he's quite right, that integration is a euphemism for white supremacy. The truth is that we have been integrated here since we got here. You know, that is not what the battle is at all. If Negroes in this country arrange from every color under heaven, from yours to mine, to people even blacker than me, that gives away the history and tells us what happened. Or as an old black woman once put it to me, to sum it up, she said, white people don't hate black people. If they did, we'd all be black. That's something you got to face. I mean, you, the American Republic. We are your brothers, and you're disowned brothers and sons and sisters and daughters. You got to face that.
There's a sense in which I don't think you answered my question, and we will be back in a moment. Stay with us. Mr. Baldwin, I guess what I meant by not answering my question was this. You get a kind of simple idea of what Stokely, Carmichael, and H. Rap Brown mean, and it's maybe because we may not read their words in complete form, but we see them for a minute on the news, and they're yelling, get guns, burn, so forth. And all I was asking really was, are you more moderate than that in your present mood? And are they saying too much? Are they over making a point?
Well, the point that they're trying to make cannot be overstated. I'm much older than Rap, and I'm much older than Stokely. And to that extent, I can be called more moderate, I suppose. But on the other hand, the difficulty here is this. I can't, and Martin Luther King said this too in another way, I can't really ask a black boy younger than, let's say, 20 years old, all right? 17 years old, 25 years old. There are two things I can't ask him to do. I can't ask him to allow himself to live on the terms bequeathed him by the American white people of this country. I cannot ask him to allow the forces which rule this country to emasculate him. I cannot do that. I won't do that. I don't, on the other hand, want...
I think we need to interject for copyright purposes.
Oh yeah,
Nothing else.
for fair use.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was funny that Martin Luther King came out as Mum of the King.
Yes, it was the problem with the audio, but yes, it's not perfect audio to text, but it's a pretty darn good service, I have to say.
Indeed.
But yeah, these are very powerful words.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't really even want to interrupt, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
You know, counsel a generation, you know, to go out into the streets to die. But there is nothing in the evidence offered by the book of the American Republic which allows me really to argue with the cat who says to me, they needed us to pick the cotton, and now they don't need us anymore. And now they don't need us, they're going to kill us all off, just like they did the Indians. And I can't say it's a Christian nation. They were your brothers.
What I will say is that the prediction of killing them all off, what they've done is found a new form of slavery in mass incarceration.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brothers will never do that to you because the record is too long and too bloody. That's all we have done. All your buried corpses now begin to speak. I can't depend on the American moral credit to save some of the people whom I love. But you don't have that moral credit. You know, you told yourself, yourselves, and us, for all these years, nothing but lies. Now, I want you to understand something. I'm not interested in making an accusation. I'm not even talking about the past. I'm talking about the present. This is not an accusation. It is a plea for the life of this country. Because no matter what I say, no matter what Martin said, the despair in the ghetto, the despair throughout the country accumulates with every hour. And people grow up much faster than you think they do. People are uptight about Stokely now because he said black power. No one is concerned about white power, which is now wiping out Southeast Asia. No one's concerned about the white power, which keeps my children in the ghetto, which does not educate my children except to become inferiors. This is power. And when the Republic reacts as it did to the linking of the two words power and black, it's a confession of what the country has done with its power.
Have you ever thought that there might be a basis for prejudice against Negroes specifically that is...
I'm just going to skip forward slightly because there's a rambly bit about this question.
Okay.
And I observed, that if I walk down the streets of Paris or Stockholm or Istanbul with, Phyllis, for example, nobody even noticed it. Mm-hmm. The only people I've noticed, the only people who really get uptight when they see a black boy working with a white girl, for example, are Americans. And I've seen this 1,000 times, I've seen it once.
Actually, yeah, there's another historical parallel. The great Paul Robeson, the fantastic American singer, it's one of the reasons he became a supporter of the Soviet Union initially, was because he said it was the first place he ever went, because it was outside of America, where a black man could just walk down the street. And then there are no black people or weren't at that time many black people at all in Moscow. But yeah, America had this system in place where black people were looked at.
They conditioned people.
Yeah. Awful.
We walking down the street, she and I talking to each other and minding our own business. Or I'm walking down the street by myself, and here comes, somebody, with his girl. And something happens in his eyes, something happens in his face. I don't want his girl. I haven't even seen him. I don't care what they're doing. But something stiffens in him. Some trigger goes off in him. As I'm going to steal the girl. Well, it isn't because I'm black. It's because people pay for what they do. It's not because I want to steal his girl. He's uptight about me walking down the street, or uptight about Phyllis and me walking down the street. He's uptight because of some buried guilt. He knows what he's done. People always know. They pretend they don't, but they know. I don't want to rape, white women. But, I know how many of my women have been raped, and I know by whom, and so do you. Now, in fact, I don't think anything in the black ferment of the black revolution really involves revenge or is vindictive at all. It is the white imagination, the guilty white imagination, which makes this out of it, and it's this which paralyzed us in all our social activities. It's the reason no one knows anything about the labor unions, the schools, the situation of the people in the ghetto, nothing about the police, who are a very real menace to every black cat alive in this country. And no matter how many people say, you're being paranoid when you talk about police brutality, I know what I'm talking about. I survived those streets and those precinct basements, and I know, and every black cat in this country knows, what the policeman is really like. And furthermore, I'll tell you this, I know what he was like when I was really helpless, how many beatings I got. And I know what happens now because I'm not really helpless, but I know, too, that if I haven't got the presence of mind, to do whatever I have to do, he doesn't know that this is Jimmy Baldwin and not just some other nigger. He's gonna blow my head off just like he blows off everybody else's head. And this is done with the will of the state, and this cannot be overstated. It can happen to my mother in the morning, to my sister, to my brother. It's only now beginning to be born on you since it's happening to your heroes. What has happened all these years to us?
So can you pause it for a second? Just again for fair use. Is he making reference to the Kennedy assassination and maybe Robert Kennedy?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he mentioned obviously the murder of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had been killed like a year before this. Yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what he's saying. That you're having white heroes die now.
Right.
At the hands of the very same people, bizarrely, but there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again, fair use. I thought I would dip in since I had that question anyway.
For me, this has always been a violent country. It has never been a democracy.
Right. I do get the feeling that you overstate for rhetorical purposes sometimes. And when you say...
Now listen to this interaction, because this could be happening today. I mean, well, the last one could as well, but this is typical.
Except for the smoking.
Well, yeah, that's true. That is true. But
I can't believe they just have an ashtray on set.
Yeah,
Sorry, I had to kind of come out of the moment.
Exactly.
But...
My dad saying back when I was born, because my dad had never smoked, and he said he always found it odd that you could walk into a hospital and people were just smoking. Madness. What? Anyway.
People used to smoke in movie theaters.
Yeah.
Imagine being stuck in a movie theater with somebody smoking.
Yeah. Although I did have to point out to my dad that the two places he loved to spend time were the bookmakers and the pub, the two smokiest environments ever. But anyway,
you didn't have to smoke.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so this is the I don't know, just a conversation that's being had right now.
The thing about the policeman, the simple phrase once come to my mind, but there are some good policemen, in the sense that when you say, I could never vote for the Republicans as long as Nixon is in the party, or I could never vote for the Democrats as long as, who shall I say, Senator Eastland or...
Senator Eastland, for example.
But that leaves no door open. There's no hope then.
Door to what? Let me try to make it very clear. What I'm saying may be stated badly or awkwardly, but what I'm trying to say cannot be overstated. No tongue can overstate it. You know, it takes you a long time of stammering to state it.
I agree. There's no eloquence equal to the race problem.
And of course there are some good policemen.
Yeah.
You know, no doubt.
I just think you risk being misunderstood by people who would be, pardon the expression, sympathetic by what sounds like too broad a statement.
But you must understand that part of what is happening here is a tremendous gap between my experience of life, I'm using myself as a black man, right? And your experience of life, you as a white man, okay? Mm. And you say sympathetic, for example. But you overlook, I hate to put it this way, this may sound like an overstatement too, that I, historically speaking, have lived here with your sympathy, for a very long time. It may have occurred to me now that if I could live with your sympathy as long as I have, I can possibly live without it. I mean, I want your sympathy anymore, maybe I can't afford it anymore. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about individual policemen, and no doubt Nixon loves his children. I'm talking about the structure for which these people work. Yes. Policemen in the ghetto are not there, no matter what liberal newspapers may say, are not there to protect my life. They're there to protect your property.
Stay with us. Stay with us. We'll be back after this message.
White man does not know how to cope.
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful.
And it was. Yeah.
I love that phrase. Maybe I don't want your sympathy anymore. Maybe I can't afford it anymore.
Yep. Well, I've got, if you want to continue in this theme.
Yes, well, I'll stop sharing. Yeah.
Okay. And then I will, but I first have to get it set up.
Well, you do that, and I'll briefly try and check out the live stream to see if any of this is working. Still no drop frames. Fuck off. Sorry, go on. Okay. The live stream. See if any.
Sorry, I got confused there. All right. Now we're on the right screen. Okay. Yeah, I don't know who. Someone shared this video earlier, and I bookmarked it for the show. You still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, and this is it. So since I guess we're doing basically platforming black speakers, black men in particular, on issues of racial justice. Mm. This is my contribution.
Who is this person? What is the context?
I don't know. Just like I said, Chris Evans, who's not Captain America, just said, woo, he fucking said that. And I was like, what's he talking about? So maybe we can, I guess from the Black Detour, we can go there afterwards. Let me know how the volume is.
Me, Skip, is that, okay, we've turned the other...
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that a little soft?
Good. No, that's good.
Okay. All right. I'll start it again. And also, I will drag the screen a little bit more fully. Okay, cool.
Me, Skip, is that, okay, we've turned the other cheek. 250 years of slavery, 100 years of apartheid and Jim Crow. We've turned the other cheek. How about you stop slapping me in my damn face? And then I won't have to turn my cheek. Why do I got to keep turning while you keep punching? Can you answer me that, Tony?
Both your cheeks are...
Yeah, I'm tired. I mean, my
bloody.
My cheeks are bloody. My hair's spinning from turning like I'm watching a tennis match.
Yeah.
But we got to keep turning the other cheek. Turn the other cheek. That's the problem. We've turned it. It's going to be okay.
You all right?
Yeah, no, I just... the analogy was amusing, albeit it's incredibly powerful points he's making.
Yeah.
That forgive him. You heard what he said. He said he was sorry, and that's us. Black people, Skip, by nature, we're very forgiving because we've allowed this to go on for so long. We're very, very forgiving.
I agree,
and I think that's Tony's innate in and of himself is like forgiveness. With that, I'm sorry. I mean, at some point in time, I got to stop forgiving you because you keep doing and you take my kindness for weakness. And that's what they've done. They've taken kindness for weakness. They'll just turn the other cheek. They'll just go to church and pray and Lord, everything gonna be okay. Nah, hell no. They go to church too. So what's their God telling them? Man, stop, man. I'm tired of this, all this forgiveness and all that. Just stop doing it. You don't have to be a Harvard. You don't have to be a Rhodes Scholar. You don't have to go to MIT, Skip, to know you shouldn't treat people the way we've been treated. This education, and it's going to take dialogue. Dialogue for what? I'm trying to figure out for people that created everything, because black didn't create anything, Skip. Everything that's been good in the world has been created by white. So why we got to educate them? They're the most educated people in all the world. But now they need the black people that they've been stepping on for 400 years to educate them how to treat us. And Coach Dungy is right. Nothing's going to be resolved through bricks, through windows, and burning down buildings. But what the hell is going to be resolved through forgiveness? We've been forgiven for 400 years, and so what has that gotten us, Coach? We've been forgiven. Now, so, okay, we've forgiven. We've got to get over slavery. We've got to get over Jim Crow. We've got to get over being unemployed at a high rate, our health care, our economics. We've got to get over all that. So I'm just saying, the forgiveness, we've forgiven. Okay, so, Tony, forgiveness does not...
There you go. Yeah. And by the way, I just want to acknowledge that's terrorists, bro. Your point is very well made, and I would take it on as a very serious one. That within the civil rights movement and the framing of civil rights and the discussion of police violence, too often Black women are left out. It is very much a tradition. I've seen critique within Black Twitter about misogyny or misogynoir. From Black men toward Black women and making them invisible. So yeah, I understand your point that both of these speakers are speaking from and about the perspective of Black men.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I had to make some good points there. And your point I made previously about the fact that they've got, essentially legalized slavery now in mass incarceration, to the point where California couldn't deal with its wildfires because the COVID meant that prisoners couldn't be allowed out to do that job. I'm going to say do that job for no money. Slavery. Yeah. That's what slavery is.
Yeah.
And actually, having looked into the like I say, these previous people like James Baldwin, that's literally him, the thing I mentioned. That's the debate of him and Buckley at Oxford.
You're going to have to follow the Black Detour as well.
Yeah, I think I will. Actually, you might as well play that now it's there, because I assure you it's spine-tinglingly beautiful. But there's another speech he gives, a completely different thing called, and I'll bleep it out, but he didn't, called Baldwin's N-word. Hard R.
Oh.
Because he's literally referring to the fact that his name is Baldwin is on the fact that was an Old English name, because that was the family that owned his family a long time ago.
Oh, right, okay.
And even something as simple as that, even something as simple as your fucking name in America is a sign that you were once owned. It literally it makes the point in the thing. You can trace your history back hundreds of years. Mine goes back as far as the day I arrived on these shores with a bill of sale. It's fucking crushing. How do you... Again, I'm surprised there isn't more violence from the Black community, given the shit they have to deal with. Look,
well, I think that's what that last video is really about.
Exactly.
About how
and that's,
there hasn't been violent uprisings.
Yeah.
I mean, you get occasional riots, but you don't get slave revolts like they used to.
Yeah.
But
and I agree with the other bloke. Yeah. I'm not saying that violence is good or that that's going to accomplish anything. I'm just saying, as a natural human emotion, I can understand why people would call for that. Yeah. It's amazing what Black people put up
at some
with.
Point, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At what point you can forgive on the basis that people learn, but white America doesn't learn. California's a very liberal place, and it's still doing legalized slavery. You know.
Yeah. It's a problem of white culture. It's not even like a cancer. It's more like a parasite.
Yeah. And it feeds off of our hate. This debate was from 1965, and again, he might as well be speaking about today. Things haven't changed that much.
Should I hit play?
Yeah, go for it, man. It's breathtaking stuff. And I mean, I don't know if this is the end of it, where he gets the round of applause, even from people who clearly despise him. There's a lot of hatred for that black man in that room. Yeah, the round of applause was astounding. Yeah.
Yeah, also, just to say, I did see that Breonna Taylor's ex-boyfriend was offered a plea deal where he had to say she was part of his drug ring.
Oh, fuck's sake. That you can't reform that. I'm sorry, that's corruption on an endemic level. The American justice system needs to be redone from top to bottom. It isn't a justice system worth the name.
Well, I think there's a whole bunch of different parts of it, right? But yeah, I mean, that's a monumental task that would probably take decades. But yes,
I'm not saying
the process needs to start now.
Any of it's easy. I mean, it took 400 years to get into that state. It's not going to take 4 minutes to get out of it. Just saying it has to happen at some point, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, the police culture has to end. We have to look at the way plea bargains are working. And also bail bonds and civil forfeitures. There's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be reformed.
The plea deal system, the brilliant example of how corrupt and fucked up that is, and the fact that essentially if you're rich enough you can get away with shit, or if you're too poor you can't even get away with it if you're innocent, was the story of a guy called Thabo Sefolosha, who is a technically Swiss by birth basketball player, who was involved in an altercation outside of a nightclub with the police, and the police broke his fucking arm, right? And he was arrested and done for various things, which he wasn't guilty of. The police had aggressed upon him, and he was offered a plea deal. And the lawyer said, and it was a very expensive lawyer because this guy's a millionaire who plays in the NBA, or played. I don't think he does anymore. And he decided to fight her. And now, thankfully, he was able to get away with it because he could afford good lawyers. But he said, even though I was guilty, the lawyer was literally saying, look, the best you can do is this plea bargain, which would have meant 2 years in jail.
Mm-hmm.
He was
the system's fucked up.
Entirely innocent. Now, think of the millions of people who are in that situation who aren't millionaire basketball stars. You know? It's disgusting.
Yeah, take a plea for 2 or you're in for 10 to 15.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, madness.
All right, so on the realities of white supremacy, or the reality.
It would seem to me that the proposition before the House, if I put it that way, is the American dream at the expense of the American Negro, or the American dream is at the expense of the American Negro.
Is the volume okay?
Yeah.
Is a question hideously loaded, and that one's response to that question, or one's reaction to that question, has to depend on the effect on where you find yourself in the world, what your sense of reality is, what your system of reality is. That is, it depends on assumptions which we hold so deeply as to be scarcely aware of them. A white South African, or a Mississippi sharecropper, or a Mississippi sheriff, or a Frenchman driven out of Algeria, all have, at bottom, a system of reality which compels them to, for example, in the case of the French exile from Algeria, to defend French reasons for having ruled Algeria. The Mississippi or the Alabama sheriff, who really does believe when he's facing a Negro boy or girl that this woman, this man, this child must be insane to attack the system to which he owes his entire identity. Of course, for such a person, the proposition of which we're trying to discuss here tonight does not exist. And on the other hand, I have to speak as one of the people who've been most attacked by what we must now here call the Western or the European system of reality. What white people in the world, the doctrine of white supremacy, I hate to say it here, comes from Europe. That's how it got to America. Beneath then, whatever one's reaction to this proposition is, has to be the question, or whether or not civilizations can be considered as such equal, or whether one civilization has the right to overtake and subjugate and in fact to destroy another. Now what happens when that happens?
That's a slightly
Very
weird,
fascinating.
That's a really slightly weird clip because that cuts off at the wrong point. But anyway,
Yeah.
If you get a chance, go and watch the 1965 debate between them. It's on YouTube. That's where I found it. It's excellent, and I'll give Buckley his due. Although I disagree with him enormously, he argues his case very well. It's a superb thing.
Is his case some sort of American bullshit dream?
Yeah,
about vague abstract principles.
Yeah, well, of course it is. Yeah, I mean, the audio wasn't very clear there, but the proposition is: was the American dream built on the back? Slurring coming, but I'm going to have to quote it because it wasn't a slur at the time. I suppose it was just a word that was said. Was the American dream built on the back of the American Negro?
Okay.
With obviously.
How do you argue against that proposition?
Well, I mean, like you say, he gives vague ideas, and not just that, but because this is just after the passing of the Civil Rights Bills of the '64, he argues that America has turned a corner and the black people are part of the American dream now, and all the rest of it, which would have been like a new and interesting argument at the time. Because it was a new and interesting argument at the time, and like I say, he was no doubt he was a great speaker. I think he's full of shit, but he was a good speaker, and it was a fascinating debate 55 years later.
Well, if I'm ever bored and feeling nerdy, and you don't get to shame me about nerdiness.
I'm
might
terrible.
check that out.
Yeah, no, I'm awful. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, should we do some of my bookmarks while we're here?
No.
Then what would you like to do?
Cocaine, lots of it.
Oh, I can't help you with that. Sorry.
You fucking nerd. You disgusting.
Yeah.
You disgraceful.
Well, you should have paced yourself better.
Well, yeah, but I'm on a come down now, so I'm gonna have to do something. Otherwise, I'm gonna be bouncing off the wall. No, I'm only joking.
Get a fur ball, huff some Rory Cat's hair.
He is magic. He is magic.
Hey, this is interesting.
I was asleep on the bed. Sorry, go on.
Aw, nice. Trump's popularity slips in the latest military poll, and more troops now say that they will vote for Biden.
Oh, wow.
So they've got this. Don't take me to the place. Okay, they're comparing 2016 and 2020. As you can see, Hillary Clinton got fewer support from the military than a third party, just, I don't know, libertarian probably, I would imagine. Not too many green voters.
No, I imagine not. No.
So probably. Trump got 40.5%. And currently, Joe Biden is at 43.1. He's not only like getting as much as Trump had this, but basically like he's leading him. And that's amazing. I mean, there's not a huge overseas military vote, but it tends to go hard Republican.
Yeah, that is strange. I wonder why that is.
Well, I guess we could read more. Maybe they ask some follow-up questions.
Yeah. The latest military times, blah de blah de blah.
Yep. Collected before political conventions. Active duty troops surveyed. Among all participants, 42% said they strongly disapproved of Trump's time in office. Holy shit. 42% of
Which is odd, because you think they'd go in for some of the jingoistic shit. You think would play well, but maybe the incompetence.
Yeah, but they take an oath to the Constitution. Like, you guys swear to king or queen and country. We don't swear to a person.
Yes.
Yeah. And so you take an oath to a set of principles. And if they see him violating those principles, they're eternal.
Yeah, what I will say is that, again, I think that's, dare I compare you to the late Will Buckley. That's getting into that sort of territory of, I think if it came down to it and they were ordered to go against the Constitution, I think many of them would.
Yeah, well, happily, the military leaders are on record saying they're going to be apolitical in the event of a disagreed election. So,
well, yeah, I mean, I care less for what people say and far more for what they would actually do.
Yeah. We'll certainly, I mean...
Although I think a lot of the top brass would find it a little annoying to have a military-backed coup in favour of a draft dodger, I think.
Well, hopefully they would just take their oaths of command seriously and stand up to an obvious tyrant. Hope so, yeah. Right, so this is...
Okay, to quote Baldwin, I can't count was on the American moral account because you don't have American moral credit because you don't have any. You know, I mean, considering the fact that the American armed forces, and again, not all of them, it's obviously like the CIA or whatever, have backed enormous numbers of fascist coups around the world. If it came to it, would they do it in their own backyard? I don't know. I can't say I'm confident that they wouldn't.
Well, but for whom?
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's. I'm not saying they'll do it for Trump. I'm just as like an abstract concept or whatever.
Oh, okay. This is as again someone interested in political behavior. I find this fascinating. So, among active duty service members surveyed, 41% said they would vote for Biden, and only 37% said they planned to vote to re-elect Trump. Another 13% they planned to vote for third party, and 9% are skipping. Now, about 40% of the troops surveyed are identified as Republican or Libertarian. 16% is Democrats.
Wow.
And 44% independent or another party. So even with only 16% of them saying that they're Democrats, Biden is getting 41% of the total.
Yeah, that's pretty mental. Also, that might need to be looked at in terms of it being obviously not representative of the country at large.
Well, no, it's just for the military troops.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the military doesn't represent anywhere near like the.
No, but they are normally a very solid Republican
yeah, of course they are,
base. And so if Biden is eating into that just weakens Trump wherever those military ballots are coming into.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Well, a lot of military bases in places like Texas. So that could be interesting.
Yeah, in the South. Very true. Let's see. Could skip that. We went over that already. Oh, yeah, this... So just some person, I've been refused entry into a store because I'm not going to wash my hands, la la la. Refusal to wear a face mask is linked to sociopathy.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. You're literally saying, I don't care about other people. Fuck them.
Yeah, yeah. Right. It makes so much sense now. Yeah. They actually don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter if you make a moral argument to them.
Yeah.
They don't care. They're just worried about their own happiness.
Well, I remember, who's the comedian? I forget, but he made a very, very good... It was in the course of a joke, but a very good point about why a lot of people don't respond well to the obviously strong arguments that we should do something about climate change. And he basically said, for some people, the Earth is something to be cherished, and for other people, it's just something they stand on.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yep, about anything else other than themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was put out by the Kenosha Police Department and kind of speaks to the not homegrown nature of a lot of things that were happening. So they reported that they were sharing about their law enforcement activity. More than 20 firearms were seized, followed up by active investigations. Arrest numbers include people from 44 different cities. 3 vehicles were towed. 69 people were arrested for curfew violations.
Nice.
34, for curfew, plus charges ranging from concealed weapons, burglary, possession of controlled substances. As of the 30th of August, 175 people have been arrested. Of the people processed, 102 had addresses from outside Kenosha.
I am shocked. On that point, I've got a thing coming up. But note that that's still Chief Miskinnis, the guy who justified the white supremacist terrorist attack in his town.
Well, it's a media release from the department, not from him personally.
No, but he's saying in lieu of the department's participation, the police chief is providing the community with some preliminary data. So it's being data issued on his behalf. So.
Okay, I was more looking at the public record information of how many people showed up in Kenosha.
Mm-hmm.
and ended up causing problems.
Yeah, exactly. No, I absolutely take your point. I'm just making the more broad point, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, the sheriff whoever is the police chief there is a fucking racist asshole, needs to go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So, did you say you have something you want to share on this?
Well, when we get round to it, it's not of enormous importance. Saves us having to swap back and forth.
Oh, all right. This also, did you see this speech?
I have not, but I know the man, Doc Rivers. Well, I don't know him, but I know as a basketball fan.
Yep. So again, this is one of those situations where I'm like, Lincoln Project confuses me. I still haven't sussed out their, I'm still working out their ideology, because I can't quite believe that conservative white people would actually try to be allies and lift up black voices.
They're weird. They're like weird neo-lib people, but also neocon people, but are also seem pretty woke at times. But I don't know.
Yeah. I guess they're less hit and miss, I think, than Vosh in terms of things they say.
Did you see the clip that was going around the other day, yesterday, of him boasting about his Tinder thing? When he was going he was boasting, because apparently he's in an open relationship, which is fine in itself.
Oh, okay.
But the way he decided to word this thing, someone was questioning his sexual prowess, and he used the phrase, I'm never more than 2 hours from being in. Sorry, I'm 2 hours away from being inside someone else. That's just a bit gross. What are you talking like that for? Like, you've been essentially baited into a Ben Shapiro move there. Like, it's just a bit sad. Anyway,
right.
That amused me though.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, now on a more serious, emotional roller coaster again. We went down an alleyway of
I think my silly nonsense probably is going to belie the enormously important point Doc Rivers is about to make, I suggest.
Yes. So this is an awkward segue, but that's what our show.
Yeah, well, I'm kicking it to you for that. Yeah.
Yes. All right, here we go.
It's just so sad. Just watching the Republican convention, and they're spewing this fear. Donald Trump and all of them talking about fear. We're the ones getting killed. We're the ones getting shot. All you do is keep hearing about fear. It's amazing to me why we keep loving this country and this country does not love us back. Like, I should just be a coach. And it's so often reminded of my color. We got to do better, but we got to demand better. We protest and they send riot guards, right? We're trying to get them to protect us, just like they protect everybody else. You don't need to be black to be outraged. You need to be American and outraged. And how dare the Republicans talk about fear? We're the ones having to talk to every black child. What white father has to give his son a talk about being careful if you get pulled over? All we're asking is you live up to the Constitution. That's all we're asking for everybody, for everyone. Thank you.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's intense, man.
Yep. And like I said, I appreciate that they're giving that platform to their predominantly white followers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is the issue, what it keeps coming back to.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, America is founded on some incredibly noble ideals. If it ever reaches them, it'll be incredible.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right. Well, this has been a really intense show, but I think a good one and more thematic than we had ever even imagined it could have been.
Hang on, what? Are you done?
Am I done? I said we actually managed to carry a theme throughout this show.
Yeah, so are you? It sounds like you're wrapping the show up, and I haven't even done anything.
Oh no! I was just saying I'm impressed. Okay. We actually managed to keep a concept going.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
So, all right. I think that's
I was about to say that's just the replies to the thing, Kristen.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, someone got a message sent to their phone. She's like, "How the hell did this come to my phone?" They're just spamming people now.
Yeah, of course they are. Yeah.
Trump was going to go to Kenosha. The governor said, "Please don't come," and I think Trump's going to go anyway.
Of course he fucking is. He's garbage.
Yeah.
He reminds me a little bit of the there's Piers Corbyn, the cunt. Anyway, it reminds me of the when Charlton Heston used to turn up like a ghoul after every fucking, when he was the NRA chief or whatever. After every school shooting, he'd turn up and do a rally in the town. Back in the day, if people can remember back then.
Yeah.
When Charlton Heston was alive, lol. Trump does the same sort of thing, you know. He'll turn up in a place. Now, in theory, there would be nothing wrong with the president turning up and being, if he was going to go there and say, you know, I hear your anger and we're going to do something about it and try and unite the country, that would be an enormously positive thing. But he's not. He's going to go there and say, these
Looters.
thugs rioting, you know.
Yeah.
Because he's garbage.
He's just going to try to shit on Antifa and BLM more and just tie them together as to a big scary thing of leftists and black people.
Well, not just that, but black people,
of color.
yeah. Like, I expect him to attack the left. That's, I mean, a Republican president in an election year would do that. But if he's going to go there and just shit on black Americans, like, that's not cool.
Well, yeah, that's essentially he's trying to equate that with the violence, with property destruction, and the violence of the person who was at his fucking rally.
Yeah, indeed.
He's the one who had to shoot her, not Joe
it's
Biden.
remarkable, the right-wing fucking mental gymnastics. Like, Trump's going on about fixing America's problems. His campaign slogan is "Keep America Great." What problems does it have then?
Yeah.
Like the guy who's president must be fucking shit then. Who's he?
Who wants to keep America like this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna. Oh gosh, Tim Pool. Oh, and the next one is actually just random, but kind of funny. Yeah, time to start suing Twitter for defamation because some dude's account got suspended for a little while.
For defamation? What?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, because not only they banned the account for 12 hours, and also said that they had engaged in wire fraud or something. What do you mean? What defamation took place? You dopey bastard.
I think he just... Yeah, exactly. It just hurts your brain.
Yeah, the levels of... He's one of the most profoundly sinister characters because he's so bumbling, but yet he has such a big audience, he could actually have an impact. And he keeps talking about civil war. He's obsessed with it. Jesus. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Chris Evans was doing a review. He'd not watched Jaws before, ever.
Right.
And so he live tweets it. And I just thought when he got to this scene, it was quite funny. If you want to read that out.
The boat is taking in water. You bitches are going to capsize. Did he preempt them and say they should have gotten a bigger boat?
Yeah, there was a bigger boat lying above it, but this was just the funniest combo ever. I just thought I'd throw it in there because our show is weird and random like that. Yeah. Trump, being a dick. Trump people shooting paintballs and pepper spray at people.
Yeah, that's a thing that happened. Yeah. In terms of the details of Portland, though, we don't quite know yet about the murder. Or the thing that's being investigated as a potential murder, I should say. It could be self-defense. It could be entirely unrelated. Who knows? Yeah, they're bear macing people, and shooting pepper guns, paintballs at people. Like that's, and driving through. By the way, look at it's walk signs. They're literally driving through pedestrians. Well, actually, no, they've just just went red there. But there's a previous thing where they're driving the opposite direction and they're going through a red light.
Yep, idiots.
Yeah.
Violent.
Look, if you turn up being violent, you can expect a violent response. I mean, that's just human nature. People aren't going to take that shit lying down, especially because as we'll discuss, they're coming in from out of town.
Yep.
These are not local.
Over 100 of them.
Just like the prick in Kenosha. He wasn't from Kenosha. He's defending his town. No, he's not. He drove across state lines to do that.
Yeah.
So
He's not even like.
and I was taught by people who know about these sorts of things, the reason he was wearing latex gloves as well is because
So he wouldn't get.
gunshot residue on your hands. Because he intended to fire that weapon. He did not intend to go there peaceably. He wanted to find trouble, and he did. He's a murderer. He will spend a lot of time in prison, hopefully.
Yeah. Yes. He's been charged with like 6 different crimes, all very serious.
Yes.
Did you see this Chadwick Boseman tribute?
Yeah, the painting from the Senegalese guy, yeah. Amazing stuff.
It was really beautiful. Yep. So that was really, touching. And then these guys are so
you might as well show it, because we're just saying, oh,
okay,
it was really
for people who
nice.
haven't.
Yeah.
All right, so for people who haven't...
There you go.
I'm going to have... Ooh, sorry. Volume, go down. Damn, that's going to get copyrighted. Sorry. Yeah, I skipped to the end. I totally fucked that up. I'm sorry.
Who's the boomer here?
It was the Twitch. It was the Twitter interface. It wouldn't let me click where I wanted to.
Typical Christy blaming the Twitter interface.
Yep, because you never had problems with Twitter.
Flowers.
Yes.
It's mad.
It's really beautiful. And you can a little bit hear the drums. But I think not enough to draw a strike.
Oh no, there goes my monetization.
Yes. Yeah. Really amazing.
Badass.
Very. All right.
Anyway.
Cute kitties.
Cute cats, yeah.
Yep.
Aww.
Are we ready to switch it over to you?
Yeah, if you wanna. Yeah.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. There
you got
go.
my thumbnail of Destiny as Hitler?
Yeah. Oh, we didn't even talk about Destiny, really, have we?
No.
I mean, a little bit. I mentioned his white perspective of, yeah, you might be getting murdered, but I'm gonna get super mad at this, hardware store that got burned out.
Well, I've made the point previously. If a libertarian is always only one smashed window away from going fascist, and Destiny proves it rather conclusively. Anyway, on the point of people from out of town, and this is the right wing's whole thing, right? They are fucking obsessed with projection. It's the Antifa that are bussing people in.
Yep.
No, it was the Proud Boys bussing people in to Portland last weekend.
Of course it was.
Projection all the time. But thankfully, many of these people will probably get COVID, so, silver linings.
That and Sturgis.
Indeed. Yep, Ian Miles Chong. Antifa are celebrating the murder in Portland this year.
Yep.
And he's supporting the murder in Kenosha. The heel turn the right wing have done from, yay, the guy in Kenosha that murdered those 2 people is awesome, to this is an outrage when one person gets shot and they don't even know why in Portland. Amazing. Ben Garrison's fucking mental.
What is...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't know what... Does he think face coverings smell like arse? You might need to brush your fucking teeth.
I'm going to say, maybe he just doesn't brush his teeth. Maybe that's what this is really about.
It's just weird. We don't need to say any more than that. Although at least there's not much writing on this occasion.
Only 5 words.
Yeah. America's totally not fascist, Joe, except, they've just gotten rid of protections for journalists and legal observers in Portland.
What is... AG Barr, of course.
Yeah, of
because
course
that's what he's going to be able to do. Because who's going to stop him as long as Trump is president?
Yep. Fascism, and not just that, but American fascism especially is... it's ugly. It's very, very ugly.
Actually, it was a 3-judge panel, it looked like, by the article.
Yeah,
it wasn't Barr's.
Temporarily halted protections, yeah.
Did they say why? I don't understand what justification... Sorry, I just don't understand what justification they could have.
I don't know, Christy. We'll have a look. Let's look at my drop frames. Still 0 drop frames. What has happened? Is the internet working here now? Maybe Boris Johnson did fix the internet. Personally, he came round and did the wires or whatever. I don't Three-judge panel on Thursday temporarily blah-de-blah. Last week, federal judge Michael Simon ruled that journalists and legal observers were exempt from federal officers' physical force arrest and other treatment if officers reasonably know that a person is a journalist or legal observer. But a 2-1 decision, the judge blah-de-blah agreed with the government that Simon's initial ruling was too broad. Given the order's breadth and lack of clarity, particularly in its non-exclusive indicia of who qualifies as journalist and legal observer, appellants have also demonstrated that in the absence of a stay, the order will cause irreparable harm to law enforcement efforts and personnel.
To law enforcement?
So basically, I know you're supposed to have some sort of legal protection as a journalist in the situation, but that would stop the police from brutalising you. So we need to not do that anymore. Which is kind of fascism. So thanks, American judiciary, you cunts.
That's bullshit. Yeah. You should always err on the side of not doing violence.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's so Donald Trump, even though we know what happened in Kenosha, has still not tweeted out condemning it. Whereas this motherfucker, who could have been the aggressor for all we know, we don't know the interaction that took place here, but he's now dead, of course. Oh, he's a Trump supporter, so rest in peace. He has no idea. He could have been a terrorist.
Oh, God.
He's garbage. Anyway,
he'll always try to side with the white supremacists.
Oh, always, yeah. This is white privilege in action, because this is the police.
Yeah, didn't we watch this at the last show?
Did we? Or was this
maybe I've just seen it then.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah.
Basically, I want police to act like this.
Screams at him. No, yeah, this is fine in its own way, but a black man got shot half to death.
Yes.
For much less.
No, we watched a guy who was attacking a cop with a knife.
Yes, we did. Yeah, the drunk dude with a knife. Look, he's screaming
and
at the cop, faces him up, and he's not getting shot. No, he shouldn't get shot. Don't get me wrong. I'm not calling for that.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's what white privilege is. Right there. Yeah.
That's the kind of de-escalation situation I want to see all the time. Yeah. Not just with white people. All the time. Everyone gets the same treatment.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a de-escalation as a priority.
Yeah, and as LeVar Burton of Star Trek fame says, not a single shot fired. Must be nice.
Yep. Yeah. They're capable of doing it. They can do it. We see them doing it.
Yeah.
So just do it for everyone.
Yep. Facebook
and get fired if you don't.
Indeed, yeah. And hopefully imprisoned. We'll wait and see.
Well, if you shoot anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, just like, I'm not saying you always have to shoot someone to be fired. I'm saying
no, exactly.
Always, yeah. Okay.
Facebook employees are furious with Mark Zuckerberg, who admitted during a company-wide meeting that the company made a operational mistake by failing to remove a self-proclaimed militia group's call to arms ahead of the Kenosha protest.
Facebook are so shit.
And this person, this is Renfamous, who's a friend of the channel, says, today I saw that the anti-communism rally, because that's a thing that's necessary, Facebook event that's basically Portland Trump supporters neo-Nazis scheduling a time and date for the next battle of their race war. I reported the event and Facebook took less than an hour to tell me it didn't violate any rules. I'm getting to the point, Christy, where I think even though our group's on Facebook, I think it might be worth abandoning.
If you can find a different place to do the same thing, the problem is just the infrastructure.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see. I don't know. What's this? This is Washington DC again. The police being brutal scum. George Floyd. George Floyd was only killed on May the 25th.
Wow,
that's 3 months, man. Like it seems like forever ago. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
This is a shocking statistic. There have only been 12 days in 2020 where the police didn't kill someone in America. 751 people.
Yeah. And when Trump answers, well, they're upset about the number of black people who are shot by police, and his response was, well, white people get shot too. What is fine. That's supposed to be better? How about what's wrong with white culture that we're not standing up for people getting shot? Why is it the black community that only cares enough to want to stop police brutality? Why are we fine with it?
Yeah, that doesn't make it better. That makes it much worse. Because even if that somehow magically cancels out the obviously racist element of this, that still means the police are killing loads of people.
Exactly.
That's not cool. What the fuck?
So why aren't you upset about that and just saying, well, hey, as long as there are more white people being murdered, it's okay? What? What?
Yeah, mad. mad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is again Destiny being garbage. This is his Twitter account. Just in case there's any confusion, I am 100% in favour of militias forming to protect neighbourhoods' businesses against riots at this point. If anyone ever wants to fight me on this position, everyone is welcome to. That's of the clip of him saying that if rednecks want to mow rioters down, that's fine by him. So yeah. Do you want to see
the rednecks who come in your neighborhood?
Yeah,
and fire pepper spray and paintballs at people.
Yeah, indeed. So, do you want to see a cool thing of a woman reading out the WAP lyrics to an anti-abortion thing outside the clinic?
Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass pussy. Give me everything you've got for this wet ass pussy. Beat it up, catch a charge, extra large and extra hard. Put this pussy right in your face. Swipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top, I wanna ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This pussy is wet, come take a dive. Tie me up like I'm surprised. Let's roleplay. I'll wear a disguise. I want you to park that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. Make it cream, make it scream. Out in public, make a scene. I don't cook, I don't clean. But let me tell you, I got this ring. Gobbling me, swallowing me, drip down the side of me. Quick, jump out before you get it inside of me. I tell him where to put it, never tell him where I'm about to be. I'll run up on him before I have a running me. Talk your shit, bite your lip. Ask for a call while you
You get the idea.
Yeah, and it goes on like that.
Yeah, the Herman Cain account tweeted again, even
unbelievably
though he's dead. Oh, they've deleted it now, cowards. Anyway, basically saying it's not that big a deal.
Go ahead and say what it was.
Yeah, it was saying that the COVID thing's
fatal.
Not that bad. It's not that many people. Motherfucker, that's from account of a man who died from this. And I quite like this sarcastic one. Update: Herman has caught the virus in hell and died from it again. He's now in super hell. Fair enough. I can't actually be bothered with the rest with this stuff that's coming up now. But you can if you want to. I thought I'd look into class reductionist leftist Twitter to see what their thing was, what they've been talking about during this, massive outburst of violence and stuff.
Fascist activism.
Cancel culture.
Mm-hmm. Great. That's such a life or death issue right
now. Pressing issue of the day, cancel culture.
Yes. Super.
Yeah, this is quite something. This took him a couple of days to even bother responding, right? Someone says, have you said anything about the mass shooter who killed protesters in Kenosha last night? Fuck off with this moral panic when people are fucking dying, right? Because he's going about cancel culture when there's like a fascist terrorist murdering people.
Yeah.
You think a quote unquote anti-fascist like Peter Coffin would maybe have something to say about that. Peter says, obviously he has to be guilted into this. Obviously a mass shooting is terrible, but people need to fuck right off with this. I demand you speak on it. What I consider important consumer bullshit.
Consumer bullshit?
Sorry, but I'm not your dancing monkey.
Bullshit? What? Yeah. How are people getting killed because fascists are rolling up mad at them for expressing a frustration with their continual being murdered? Consumer bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Peter. Sorry. No, not sorry. Fuck off with your bullshit. Honestly.
Yeah. We can get into right populism at another point, but if you think the left is bad for occasionally biologically essentializing people by accepting system-justifying ideology, that's a sentence that got written. Wait until you see the people who do it on purpose and get away with it because they know how to argue. That doesn't mean anything. That's nonsense. That's gibberish.
Yeah. I'm just, Shark and Fonzie on skis is coming to my mind right now.
Yeah. Basically, I get the impression that Peter would rather Trump win the election. Don't know about you. Just a thought. Quote, Trump having one term sets up this narrative. Trump has good ideas, but he was hindered and didn't have enough time. That's why we need to go Tucker, or whoever, I think it will be Tucker though, who is like Trump, but better and faster. 2 would be a lot harder to paper over. So, let's elect Donald Trump this time, because the next guy might be worse. I don't know that you understand how to stop fascism, Peter.
No, it's not by letting it win.
Yeah, exactly.
What we need to do to stop the fascism is to get it.
Yeah, if we let it win a little
really,
bit,
really bad,
then it'll be easier to stop later, because that's how balls rolling down hills work.
So we just needed to get bad enough for the people to realize we've been right this whole time.
Yeah,
I then they'll come over to our worldview and we'll win.
Yeah, wasn't appeasement of fascism tried somewhere before?
Yes.
And didn't it completely backfire into the most spectacularly brutal and bloody war that humanity has ever produced? I think it did. I think maybe we should not do that again. Perhaps.
Yeah. Like, look, democracy is pretty optional in my worldview. It's really about money. It's kind of what that says to me.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Oh, this is amazing. I made a point on my stream, having not seen this tweet up until I don't know if you've realised I've got my passion back for this now. I want to read it.
Yeah, you sound more enthusiastic.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can't be bothered. But now you read it and you think, you fucking pricks. Anyway, sorry. I made a point on one of my streams during the week, which, by the way, you can get on twitch.com/7 p.m. Anyway, about because Richard Spencer, famous liar, who's consistently said that his tactic is to lie for effect, because he's a liar.
Yeah, and attention.
That's
and
what
media.
he does. That's what he does. He lies consistently. He's never been shy about saying that. Anyway, he came out and backed Biden, because, the guy who thinks that black people aren't human would definitely choose to vote for a guy whose VP is a black woman.
Yes.
Anyway, but I said any leftist idiot who's using that as an excuse is fucking stupid beyond belief and probably a liar.
You did.
And Pete, I genuinely hadn't seen this tweet from Peter, but I can't help but feel that my point has been
that on the show.
My point has been rather proven. Peter says, I think Spencer wants Biden to win. I think he knows that 4 years of neolibs, by neolibs you might as well just read, people I disagree with. I'll go into
everybody but me.
Yeah. Illustrate they won't do anything more than Trump did, despite promises, that things will not go back to normal, and then there'll be a competent right populist in 2024. So again, we need to let Trump win, because if we just appease fascism, it'll probably go away.
And then he wants, he's really rooting for Tucker Carlson 2024, isn't he?
No, he's trying to stop that by allowing fascism to win now, because that's how that works. Fascism, if you just let it win a little bit, it goes away. It's they say you shouldn't ignore your problems. With fascism, you just ignore it, it goes away. It's fine.
Yes. Or you just turn it up, you just let it run a little bit, like you said. Because if you just let it get a little bit strong, it's still okay. You can still take it on and defeat it pretty easily once it's entrenched in the institutions of power.
This is just a weird criticism. Like, even if you think Kamala Harris is a cop or whatever, which I know a lot of people go in for, this is just odd, because what can you genuinely, as a leftist, what can you object to in what she says here? It's exclusive. Senator Kamala Harris tells blah de blah that she credits the Black Lives Matter movement for bringing awareness of police violence in America. Quote, enough is enough. And he says, oh good, credit, guess everyone can hang up their spurs. Where does she say that, Peter? Where does she say that at all? The fuck are you talking about? It's being
shitty for the sake of being shitty.
Yeah.
And then you compare what Peter's doing to what the Lincoln Project and how they talk to Dems and people on the left. Compare that. The Lincoln Project is saying, hey, give us $1 million or help us raise $1 million and we'll spend every penny on Lindsey Graham. And you've got people on the left who are allying.
Rid of Lindsey Graham. We should point out, not only we won't buy him stuff.
Not like
we'll give him a spa weekend. He'll fucking love it.
Right. Yes, they're going to spend it on getting him out of office.
Yes.
They're using their allyship opportunity to actually network and establish good relationships. Meanwhile, Peter's here being shitty on Twitter
no reason.
not doing anything for literally no reason.
Kamala Harris just says, "Yeah, it's a good thing that they've brought awareness to this," and it's like,
she states a fact.
We can stop now, then hang up the She didn't say that at all at any fucking point. It's just pointless naysaying.
Yes. Yeah. Precisely.
And like you say, I have some significant issues with the neocon past of a lot of people involved in the Lincoln Project. They're out there building alliances that can get shit done, whereas Peter's bitching on Twitter.
And the thing is that they're creating common ground where you are not. And if you want to know why the left is getting pulled to the right in 5 years' time, or there's more commonality between a certain centrist position over issues like identity politics and racism stuff, that you're letting those opportunities pass you by right now.
Yeah.
It's happening right now in front of your face. Between now and November, you can build allyships or alliances, or you can barely tolerate each other and go your separate ways as soon as November passes.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
So this is Peter's initial thing. Big Dick is riding with Biden. See, because Richard Spencer said. Yeah, ridiculous.
He bought it.
Yeah, of course he did. Of course he did. And not just that, but to show he's still salty as fuck about the MythCon thing. Anyone tries to pull any guilt by association bullshit, I'm just going to post this from now on, because I'm going to pretend like Dick, the big Dick, is literally riding with Biden rather than lying, because that's what he does. He's a Nazi, you stupid bastard.
I'm going to show you this trolling of Joe Biden, and that's supposed to prove what?
Guilt by association. Just look, people criticise you online, Peter. Get over it.
Yes, that's what happens when you make videos.
A big ass platform and shit. He still rakes in the money. I mean, maybe I'm not saying he's a millionaire or anything, but he makes decent bank even, not bang.
Yeah, bang.
Decent bang from his thing. Cancel culture hasn't really affected you. Come on now. Anyway.
And did you seriously that thing with him? If he would have, I didn't watch very much of the Destiny Milo thing. I think mostly we saw it on the show, but Peter just takes so long to say anything. It would have been a very.
And he already admitted he was going there to agree with him on cancel culture.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because they have basically the same position.
So he'd agreed with him and bored everyone senseless with his long, stupid sentences, which don't actually mean anything, because he likes to.
Yes. To a room of 18 people.
Huffing farts is a thing that Peter does.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Honestly, we did him a favor that he didn't have to travel to Milwaukee during a pandemic to sit in front of 20 people and hang out with David Silverman.
True.
The people who gave him shit saved him.
So Peter's acolyte, Angie, bought the shit again. Richard Spencer, the same fucking thing. So glad voting for Biden will squash fascism.
Yep, you're a dupe.
Because Richard Spencer is obviously being entirely honest.
Yeah.
And you can believe
trusting him
because he's a Nazi.
You're believing the Nazi. Okay, you're believing the Nazi over Biden. Yeah. Okay, now we see something about you.
Boom.
Oh, nice.
Another prick bites the dust. This one being Sir John A. Macdonald, one of the, I think the first, or one of the first Prime Ministers of Canada, who said, and I quote, "I have reason to believe that the agents as a whole are doing all they can by refusing food until the Indians are on the verge of starvation to reduce the expense."
Oof.
Yeah, that motherfucker got pulled down and his head fell off.
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
Nice.
Anyway, fuck that dude. Okay, teabagging him. Good. I didn't watch to the end of that video. I didn't expect teabagging, but that's, you know what? Fair play.
Yeah, why not?
Fair play.
It's just, this is representation. It's not really the...
Yeah. This is interesting. NBC, I think a growing number of Russian white women are going to America, to have their babies, and basically the anchor baby thing. They report on this in a positive light. Which
isn't it great? They want freedom.
It's fine in a general sense, but as they say, but when Mexicans do this, it's frowned upon. Oh.
Yep. Not white enough.
And it's especially galling when Trump talks about being an anchor baby, because he is an anchor baby. His mum's from Scotland.
Yes.
So.
Also, it's not just Mexicans, but I mean, because I think there's it's people from Guatemala and El Salvador, and there's a lot of people who come up through the Mexican border. Yeah. So yeah, not to just say it's always Mexicans, but
no, it is. It's always all of the people are Mexican. You're either white or Mexican. Those are the two races.
Yeah, you heard that on Fox News.
Those are the two genders, white and Mexican. Yes. So anyway,
it is a binary.
Jordan Peterson taught me that. Anyway. Destiny again being a piece of shite. Listening to kids who grew up rich their whole lives say, "Oh, it's just property," trigger the ever-loving fuck out of me. It's just what happens when your mom and dad can instantly replace anything you've ever lost in your life, I guess. Destiny. I grew up dirt poor. My father worked in a car factory. My mother was at first a housewife and then worked in a coat hanger factory before both of those jobs were shipped off to China. Thank you, neoliberalism. Anyway, so we grew up dirt poor, and I'm just going to say this. It's just property, you fucking cunt. Human life is worth more than any property could be. You're just a terrible person.
Yeah. If you're not getting outraged, this angry about seeing Americans, especially Black Americans, being systematically targeted, and always it happens to be disproportionately them being shot and killed by the police or maimed by the police. If you're not as mad about that every single day, then I can't take you seriously.
Yeah.
Because I understand, look, when a riot happens in a downtown area, there are people who need those jobs that lose their jobs. And there are people who own the businesses who own the businesses, and there's property there that might not come back for a while or ever. All right. It's economically long-term devastating to have that kind of violence, right? However, relative to somebody getting shot, you need to have a bit of sense of proportion. Yeah. And it's not just people who are rich. It's people who understand that, as Kevin has said, property can be replaced, but lives cannot.
Yeah.
And so get mad about that, because if you got mad about people being murdered by police, then maybe the people wouldn't be murdered by the police and we wouldn't have the riots. Go to the real source of the problem. The problem isn't the protesters. The problem is the system.
Yeah, absolutely. You can replace a window pane. You can't replace a human life.
Yeah. Let's talk about replacing police culture with something where people are respected. How about that?
Do you think Breonna Taylor was rich? Do you think George Floyd was rich? Do you think I'd swap either of those people, regardless of their faults, for a window pane or, fuck it, a car dealership? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fuck that guy.
Yeah.
This is bad stuff. Representative Ken Buck, a campaign rally with the shirt "Kill 'em all, let God sort 'em out."
Jesus.
That's a sitting United States Congressperson wearing that shirt on the streets of a country where people are being murdered right now.
Yep. He's basically signaling for civil war.
Yeah, I mean I don't know how that isn't a danger to public safety. I really don't. I don't know if he's capable of being censured by the Congress for that, but he should be. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. This kind of sums up what I mean by the ugliness. American fascism sucks. What we expected, what we got. Steve Bannon, the rotting, fetid corpse, the bloated, canal dragged out corpse, otherwise known as Steve Bannon, is the man who brought. Like, the Nazis had Hugo Boss uniforms. Even modern fascism is shit by comparison to its old form. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending the Nazis, I'm just saying there was a certain style there, whereas this guy's just a fat slob. And that's fine, I'm a fat slob too, but I'm not trying to say I'm the master race. Like, if you're going to pretend to be superior, at least dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Guys, come on now.
Yeah, take some inspiration. No, I mean, yeah, I'm a little bit overwhelmed at all of this. Also, where's that picture from? What movie did I not see this in?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, what am I looking at?
This one is a terrible home movie. You don't want to see that. Oh God.
Yeah, my eyes just keep going back to the left.
Yeah. Oh, this is Jesus. Right, this is a survey that was done of people who would have been good prime ministers, but who weren't. Right, so of Britain.
Okay.
So these are all people who didn't become prime minister or haven't yet, because technically some of these are still alive, but would have been good. And there are various of them here. Enoch Powell, higher than Jeremy Corbyn. Now I should explain. Enoch Powell was a member of the Conservative government in the 60s, 70s. Famous really only in the modern era for a thing called the Rivers of Blood speech, in which he never technically uses the phrase rivers of blood. Because people always misquote everything. Every famous quote you can ever think of is wrong.
It's misquoted.
Because he was giving a biblical analogy about the streets foaming like foaming like the blood rivers of Babylon or something. It was some weird biblical thing, but he never actually uses the phrase. But it's known as the Rivers of Blood speech, during which he basically says that black people will have the whip hand over the white man within 40 years. We're now 50 years on. That hasn't happened. But he's a very, very, very racist guy. Also a phenomenally intelligent guy. That sounds like an odd analogy, but he taught himself the classics and was teaching at a university in Australia in his 20s. Amazing character in
being
many
smart
respects.
Doesn't stop you from having shitty opinions.
Well, exactly, yeah. But I'm just to give you a ripe view of the thing.
Okay.
But he's only really known for being a racist, and he was a phenomenally hideous racist. And the people think that he would have made a better prime minister than Jeremy Corbyn.
Well, I think it's a little too soon. Give it 20 more years, and then Jeremy Corbyn's memory will have
perhaps
softened a bit through history.
As Lauren points out here on Twitter, the fact that people thought Enoch Powell would have been a better prime minister than Corbyn or Ed Miliband, who was the Labour leader before him, says everything you need to know about this horrible, rainy, fash island.
Yeah, I was actually talking to a colleague, former colleague of mine from the Essex area, and we were talking about like Labour Party and its situation and how it used to be back in the 70s and how it's more focused on issues like immigration. People in those areas are more focused on immigration and Brexit these days. Yeah. And I think that, we've talked about this, the racism that exists in Britain now was always there and probably worse in the past, but people were voting for their class identity over other things. Yeah. And then class identity just wore away.
Indeed. Abrupt turn.
Okay.
A thing happened last night and I just thought I'd tweet about it. Rory Cat's just farted.
20 hours ago, your cat was farting. Yeah. So what, did he wake you up with it? Or did he just...
No, it was just general. He farted. The smell was foul.
What are you feeding him?
Cat farts.
Clearly. They're going right through him.
Perpetual. No, it's just normal cat food. But he farted and I just thought I want everyone to know. And now you all know too. So, yeah.
We all know yesterday, Rory Katz farted.
He did. And you're all richer for having known. Anyway, this is, again, I'm not going to defend the Australian police in any way whatsoever, but I think this rather sums up a delightful sweariness and forthrightness within the Australian people, which I do genuinely admire. There was a conspiracy bullshit anti-mask protest, as previously discussed here in Britain, and the chief of the local police, the Northwest Metro Region Assistant Commissioner in Australia, didn't hold back.
Look, there are any number of groups out there, and if you just did a Google search on 5G, anti-vaxxers, anti-mask, look, the tinfoil hat wearing brigade are alive and well out there in our community, and they're taking every opportunity to leverage the current situation to serve their own ridiculous notions about so-called sovereign citizens, about constitutional issues, and about how 5G is going to kill your grandkids. I mean, it's just crazy. It's batshit crazy nonsense, and people need to wake up to themselves, and because the wider community is awake to you, and you need to stop it.
Yeah.
Okay. Batshit crazy.
Batshit crazy. See, Australia, even the police are sweary in like press conferences. In Britain, they try and be like, the Metropolitan Police today, blah 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 blah. Whereas this is bollocks, mate. Nah, lot of shit.
The tinfoil hat brigade is out.
Exactly. Fair play. Anyway, Britain's the laughing stock of the world. Do you want to see a German thing?
Oh yes, go ahead. Yeah,
you'll need to read along as it's going because I can't speak German. But there we go.
Okay.
Beim Lügen erwischt worden und lügen jetzt umso dreister weiter. Mays Außenminister hat die EU gerade in dieser Woche als Gefängnis bezeichnet und mit der Sowjetunion verglichen. Die EU. Nur weil sie nach einem Austritt nicht mehr den vollen Zugang zu unserem Binnenmarkt hätten. Ihr wolltet doch raus. Für diese Vögel braucht man inzwischen einen Brexorzisten, Freunde. Ernsthaft. Ja, ist ja nicht übertrieben. Hier, Engländer, die Tante Angela erklärt euch das nochmal wie sehr, sehr doofen Kindern.
Aber es gibt eben auch ein paar Maßstäbe. Und einer dieser Maßstäbe ist, dass man nicht zum Binnenmarkt gehören kann, wenn man nicht Teil des Binnenmarktes ist.
Yeah, you can't be in it if you're not in it.
Yeah.
You vote to leave it, that's fine, you're entitled to do that. But then you're not in it anymore.
Yes.
Jesus.
You're out.
Angela Merkel, look, I'm not going to defend her internal politics, I don't know enough about Germany. But the point being that when she has to deal with the likes of Trump and Johnson, she thinks to herself, I worked really hard to get here. I have to be really intelligent and a good administrator and shit. I have to be a diplomat. Yeah. These two rich cunts have just strolled in, don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you remember, I can't imagine the look on her face when Trump slid that bill for however many billions of dollars across the table for the NATO
right?
spending.
Yeah,
she must have just gone, what the fuck is going on? What is this? Yeah, it's embarrassing that she has to explain something so basic to these fucking idiots.
Ja, genau, Engländer. Nur wenn man im Binnenmarkt ist, ist man im Binnenmarkt. Kapiert? Got it? Komm, ich mach's noch einfacher. Guck mal, das hier ist meine neue Boris Johnson Sockenpuppe, ne? Guck mal. So. Und das hier ist die EU. Ja? Jetzt ist der Boris drinnen, draußen. Drinnen, draußen. Aber hier habe ich ja gar keinen Binnenmarkt mehr. Aber du wolltest doch raus. Halt die Fresse, du Nazi. Sag mal.
So yeah, the Germans have even got the fucking sense of humour over us on us now. Like that, we always used to be the funnier of the two. We haven't even got that now.
No,
fuck's sake.
That was pretty cute.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's all I've got to bring to the table.
Well, that was fun. I think there's quite a lot of, I would say, pride in what Germany had contributed, like sort of up to the 19th century, and then mostly war. But I think generally it's not. How do you say this? It's considered very gauche to seem very arrogant, but I think at this point, like with the British, people are like, God, you guys, like we generally like you, but seriously, fuck off. Yeah. You're gonna fuck off.
Yeah, just leave, please.
You're like the cat, in or out, in or out. What do you want to do?
Well, we want the option. We want to be kind of in, but then maybe not in completely.
Yeah, that's precisely.
Then maybe we want some food. Maybe we want to go lie down,
We want to do it now. Always. Yeah. Exactly what we want. Oh, man.
Exactly. Have we dropped any frames yet? Still no dropped frames. That's ridiculous.
So exciting.
It is. It genuinely, you don't know how, not just you, Christy, but the people have no idea how amazing that is for me. Because it's like, technology's working. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I don't want to touch anything just in case it blows up or something.
Yes, and it was my recommendation. I found something that helped us both. Because I couldn't be bothered to restream from YouTube and Twitch from two different computers. So I was looking for an easier way. And then I introduced to Kevin. You mastered it before I did.
It's not that difficult.
Well, you say that, but I fucked it up twice.
Yes, but something, segue out of this awkwardness.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess should we be thanking our sponsors at this point? Matt Hummels and Hummels.
Matt Hummels. Figurines? How dare you, Christy?
I'm just very quiet on the it's silent.
It's not silent though, is it?
Matt's
Hummels. And Hummels.
And Hummels figurines.
The weird little figurines.
The kind of look fucked up looking ones that look like you just have to dust them for years. And why did I ever buy these? And who thought these were cute?
Yeah, tat. Absolute.
Yeah, tat. That's another name for it. Absolute tat is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Boomer. Whatever you say, Boomer. Okay. That's me. That's me being the mean girl thing.
Yes. Well, you didn't do enough WAP tonight.
I didn't, but I did open up with a joke about that.
That's true.
So-
About the Gorilla Grip. Yeah, you're right.
Well, no, I'm my certified freak 2 days a week.
Oh, correct.
And actually, is Gorilla Grip from WAP? I'm not sure. It's the same
I'll have to go
energy,
back
but I have
and
no
listen.
idea whether it's the same thing or not. I don't know.
Haven't listened to it often enough. I've jammed to it. Like I've heard about 5 times now. But
It's not that great a song, to be honest.
it's got a nice kind of a good bass. Doom, doom, doom. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not like the best lyrical dexterity, or it's got some good good punchlines in the bars. But
Yeah, no, it's alright, but it's just as a song, like I'm not going to listen to it again.
you're not gonna put that in your Cardi B mix.
No, it does not make the cut for my personal Cardi B mix, which is
All right.
extensive and knowledgeable. I know a lot about Cardi B and her musical oeuvre.
Yeah.
As you can tell, because I use the word oeuvre, and I think she would appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. I know that song and the one she did with the Mexican or Puerto Rican. I don't know. Hispanic thing with the Spanish in it.
I'm not gonna try to even drag you in any way for Cardi B knowledge. That's not exactly my area of It would be not my subject on Mastermind.
What would be your subject on Mastermind?
Probably maybe the Tudors. I could do.
That's quite broad. Would you not
Yeah.
narrow it down slightly?
I could do War of the Roses. Maybe.
War of Roses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Tudors. I guess I always kind of think of it starting from Henry Tudor and the Beaufords, and that sort of picking up there, and then you got Seventh. So, that would be one of mine. What would be one of yours? Just sports. Just anything.
Just sports. The entirety of sports. No, I don't
Try
know.
me.
Oh shit! I don't even know what would be my favourite sport. Probably like some sort of football thing. The history of Birmingham
Some sort
City.
of football thing.
The history of
Okay.
Birmingham City Football Club, perhaps, or something. Maybe. You can narrow it down as well. They let you do like the history of blah de blah from 1971 to 1994 or something. You know?
Oh, I didn't realize you could be that specific.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are limits. Like they don't say, the history of blah de blah from March 1961 to January of 1962. Like it has to be
Yeah.
like a reasonable span of time. But yeah, you can narrow it down. So that's when I say Tudor, you could do like the life of, I don't know, Henry VIII or something.
Right.
Yeah. How do you think you'd get on in the general knowledge?
I probably 55% shot. I give myself overall. Like I don't think I would ace it because there are always bits in general knowledge that I don't have, gaps that I have.
And of course there'd be British cultural references.
Yeah, some of them I could get, and if they weren't in comedy, like I probably wouldn't get them. If they weren't comedy from a certain era.
Yeah, like I find that quite irritating when you watch like an American quiz show, and there's like an American cultural reference. You think, well, I don't know.
I can't play this game.
Yeah, I don't know what this. I don't know. I've never heard of this person. I don't know. I can't even begin to answer because I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So
I could do. My category could be theme songs for match of the day.
there's only one.
I know. That's why I could get it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but what would the question be? What is the theme tune to match of the day?
Yeah, it could be like who wrote it. Like I could, and just play it over again. What song is this?
Okay, well, well, I don't even know. So, without looking on the interwebs,
No, I have no idea who wrote it. I'm not an actual expert.
What's it called?
But I would just match the day theme tune.
No, it's called "Baby Got Back" remix.
No, yeah, I was actually going to take you seriously for a second.
I don't fucking know. It's just called.
Where is this gone? This is the part where we're just talking shit because you haven't pressed stop yet.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, you're just. I mean, in many respects, am I to blame or are you enabling me?
I think I'm enabling you at this point. I think it pretty much ended when we had the Mats Hummels bit, but we just didn't say goodbye, and we kept talking like we normally do.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's a point. Should we? Do you want to watch the? This, we could have this conversation off air, but fuck it, I've started, so I'll finish. Mastermind joke. That's because that, for those who don't know, when he gets to the end, if he's halfway through a question and it beeps, he goes, "I've started, so I'll finish." So I was literally doing a mastermind joke. You don't get many of those to the pound. No.
No. That also just sounds like a resignation about sex. Like, well, I've started, I'll finish. All right, come on, let's try again.
Yeah. What was I gonna fucking say? Oh shit. Yeah. Do you want to watch the director's cut of the director's thingamajig of religious film?
The rise of the beast, which unbelievably was worse than Leap.
Genuinely
Leap,
worse.
the first one was so much better.
Yeah.
At least it had cutscene montages of outdoors, whereas this one was just indoors.
Well, there were some technical aspects to it that were better, but we'll save the gold material for the show. But it's really weird. One casting decision, it's still melting my brain now. Amazing.
Yeah, you guys are. If you've not watched the movie, you'll just have to.
Who's watched that? And there's no one watched that movie ever.
Us, like the guys from God Awful Movies, and then us. I think
that's
and then maybe some people who needed something to fall asleep to.
I couldn't fall asleep to that.
Oh, I could.
It's because it's so weird. It would just be off-putting, and I'd be like, "Why did they cast her? That's just ridiculous." It blows my fucking head off.
Oh, they'll learn what we're talking about the next time we do the movie review show.
And no one will be watching, but if you are watching, still no drop frames. Mental.
Yeah, you can broadcast it on your computer if you want.
Oh,
or I can look it up either way. Yeah, whatever. You've got such a great connection now.
I have. It is a great connection. That is very true. I'll have to look it up first. Anyway, this is broadcasting. Why is anyone watching this?
You haven't hit stop yet.
I haven't. Anyway, it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye from him. Good night. No, it's goodbye thank you and all that shit. Goodbye from me. Say goodbye, Christy.
Goodbye from him. Good night.
That's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
She didn't do the bit.
I did.
Gorilla grip intellect, everyone. Anyway,
that's what it looks like.
Yeah. I'll see thee next week or something. I don't fucking know. No, join me tomorrow if you're on join me tomorrow 7 p.m. all that shit. Where Christy probably won't make an appearance, but I don't know.
Are we still going?
Technically, this is still happening. Yeah, still no drop frames.
Do the thing on